Welcome to Jumpstart Board Games. I'm going to be teaching you the basics of how to jump into Kingdomino on Board Game Arena. This isn't going to be a complete teach with every rule, but it will be enough to get you started. This video is geared toward Board Game Arena, but it can also be useful in playing the physical copy of the game. Kingdomino was designed by Bruno Cathala. The theme of the game is you're playing as a monarch, seeking new lands and expanding your kingdom. The main mechanisms of the game are tile placement and variable turn order. The game will end when there are no more tiles or you can't fit any more tiles into your kingdom. At the end of the game, you're going to end up with something like a 5x5 grid. You may have some gaps in your kingdom depending on how you played things. You can see here in my kingdom there are a couple of gaps. I'm not able to place tiles in those gaps because if I did, my kingdom would expand past the 5x5 limit, and that is not allowed. But you can see my opponents didn't have that problem. Because of the way they planned their tiles, they were able to fill their entire 5x5 grid. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. You will gain points based on the size of your territories and the number of crowns in those territories. A territory consists of squares that have a matching terrain type and they are orthogonally adjacent. Each tile consists of 2 squares, and often those 2 squares will be different terrain types. You can see here I have a water terrain that consists of 12 different squares. And in that territory, there are 4 crowns. So my score for that territory is going to be 4 times 12, which is 48. And you're going to do this for each territory you have. And unfortunately, some of your territories will not have any crowns in them, and they will not score you any points. At the start of the round, there will be 4 tiles to choose from. Starting with the first player, each player will place their meeple on the tile that they would like. Once all players have selected a tile, we move to the next round. To start the next round, 4 more tiles will be placed out on the board. Starting with the player who chose the topmost tile, they will place their tile and then place their meeple on the next tile that they would like. There are some placement rules that you need to remember when placing your tile. At least one of the squares must be placed orthogonally adjacent to another square that has a matching terrain type. So a forest square adjacent to a forest square, or an ocean square adjacent to an ocean square. Also, you can place any tile adjacent to your center castle tile. Another rule you have to remember is that you can never extend your kingdom past the 5x5 square limitation. Each tile has a number printed on the back of it. This number represents its general value. So generally speaking, if you pick a tile that's at the top of the stack, then it's going to be less valuable, but it's going to allow you to go earlier in the turn order. Likewise, if you pick a tile that's near the bottom of the stack, it's going to let you go later in the turn order. So you kind of have to balance out, do you want the good tile and go later in turn order, or do you want the less valuable tile and maybe go earlier in the turn order? Before you place a tile, you can click these rotation symbols, and they'll allow you to rotate the tile around before placing it. And that's all you need to know to jump into Kingdomino. I'm going to let the rest of this game go ahead and play out, so feel free to stick around and watch. If this video has been useful for you, please give it a like.